Tonight, the Comedy Palace presents a special event, the live taping of Punchline Posse, Volume 4. Please make it real loud right now for your host, Zach Miller.
What's up, party people? All right, how's everybody feeling? You guys settling in okay? Everybody getting used to watching stand-up with the lights on? I know it's a little weird for some of you guys. I always like to find out who's here a little bit before we get into the rest of the show, let you guys get to know me if you don't know me. I am a father. I got 2 beautiful children at the crib right now. How many other baby makers we got tonight? Who made other human beings with your sex parts? By a round of applause. Okay, tight. We do not raise our hands, sir. This is not a PTA meeting. We affirm things with applause and or whistling or showing a boob. Okay, tight. Good to see some parents here tonight. I like when parents are here because I know there's at least some party people here. Parents are the real party people. People without kids will dispute that. They'll be like, no, we party harder. Well, you drink more, you stay up later, but you don't party harder. Because when it's time to bone, use contraception, clearly. Not us parents. When we bone, we go deep. Blocka! Just lay this life seat in there and deal with the repercussions for 18 years. Longer if you up the first 18. I like being a father. I'm lucky I have a son and a daughter. My son's about to be 8. We just had one of those very important moments. It's one of those really benchmark moments, that you get to have with your son. There's only so many of them. At some point we'll have the talk. That'll be a very important moment. When he was born and became 8 days old, and we gave him his bris, and I watched a man cut a piece of his penis off. That was a pretty significant moment. Then we had this moment. It was very important. We were at the pool, me and my 2 kids. I put suntan lotion on my daughter, made sure she was protected from the sun. Put suntan lotion on my son, made sure he was protected from the sun. Then my daughter went and jumped in the pool to play, and I said, son, hold on, I need your help. It's time for an important rite of passage. I need you to take some of that suntan lotion, and I need you to put it on the center of my pale, pasty, hairy back for me. Much like I did for my father in 1986. I remember my rite of passage clear as day. Well, not clear as day, but I remember something about it being very gross and ending up with suntan lotion and a very long black hair in my Cheeto. It's an important moment for a father and son. And then I got to thinking about my son and his child. His son one day will put suntan lotion on his back. But my son's biracial. He's a Jalapeno. So when my grandson puts suntan lotion on his back, it will be beautifully golden brown and hairless. And my grandson will not have the torture that me and my son had. And I pray one day, after all of us are done having sex with each other for another 50, 100 years, no child will ever have to rub suntan lotion on a pale, pasty, hairy back again. Because there will be no pale, pasty, hairy backs left. We will have breeded them out of existence. And all young boys will be free of that torture. I know that joke may come across as a white genocide bit. But in my set list, it's named Long Black Hair and a Cheeto, so... Don't get your panties in a bunch. People get weird sometimes when I talk about race, because despite the fact that I've given them the information, they look at me and think white man. I always like to clarify in my shows, I am not white, I am Jewish. It's different. I am an ethnic. I am a minority. My people have been persecuted. Jewish people are the ethnic spy. We look white, but we're not white. But because we look white, we can hang out with white people and hear all the shit they talk about black people. Then we go back to the black people We tell the black people what the white people said, and the black people give us free weed. Have been since 1964, and the Great American Negro Hebrew Weed Pact between Dr. Martin Luther King and Rabbi Shlomo Weedowitz. Who do you think those white faces were at the civil rights marches? You think that was Jeb from Alabama? Bobby from Arkansas? No, those were Jews from Chicago on a road trip, smoking that Black Panther OG. And I don't mean the Marvel movie, I mean like Tupac's mom. That kind of Black Panther. I'm sorry I broke up your Black Panther party. Forrest Gump knows. All right, you guys are pretty cool. I like to be an involved parent in my children's education. I think that's important. I hope all parents do. I get to know my kids' teachers, make sure they know I'm accessible as far as my kids' education. My son's second grade teacher, Miss Cordum, very cool people. We had a great relationship. She called me a couple months ago towards the end of the year, and she said, "Hey, Zach, something happened in class today I feel like you should know about. It's not a big deal. I just feel like you should know." So what happened? She goes, "Well, I was teaching the class a lesson about Eleanor Roosevelt. And I asked the students, I said, does anybody know who the first lady is currently?" And your son raised his hand like he might know the answer. So I said, "Brady, do you know who the first lady is today?" He said, "Well, I think I do." I said, "Well, who do you think it is?" And he said, "Stormy Daniels?" And here's the thing. We are obviously in a very politically divisive climate right now. And I know there's a lot of people in our country that would blame that scenario on Lord Trump, the 45th President of the United States. Those people would be incorrect. That is not our great president's fault. That is my fault. Because I leave cable news on all the time during dinner, and I could see where his 7-year-old brain would mistake the narrative. Also, I'm a good father. And like every father, and every good father on this planet, I know you're supposed to teach your son about side in first grade. So that, that's really on me. Did that make you uncomfortable, bro?
Not really.
Is it because you voted for Trump? Yeah. That's cool when you do Trump jokes. You can always tell who the Trumpers are because they're like, "Meh." It's all right, man. It's not your fault you're racist. It's mainly how your parents raised you and you're ill-ability. It's okay. Try different colored sex sometimes. It's really great. I haven't had sex with a white woman in 15 years. Just a heads up, white ladies. It's probably not gonna happen. I don't have a problem with you. It's just like, that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? When I'm boning, I like to know where my penis ends and the begins. I like a little contrast. You know what I'm saying? Yay. All right. Did that make you uncomfortable at all? Are you upset because you seem to be of the Caucasian persuasion? When you came to the show, you're like, all I want to do is laugh real hard and then bone that guy in the salmon pants after this. And then you realize your shot wasn't happening, and you're like, farts! All right. How about you? Are you also very upset?
Very.
I know, I can tell. Yeah, dude, it's all gravy, man. I mean, like, we could get you some, suntan lotion and go bake for a couple weeks, and maybe, I don't know, we could figure something out. You look like you're kind of biracial. What you got happening? A little bit of Latina? No? Just a lot of white? Okay, that's tight. That's tight. That's tight. You're making me think about 1996, girl. All right, here's the deal. You guys are very lucky you get to all see each other tonight, and we all get to see that young lady cross her arms and push her boobs together. Well, I'm saying, that's why you're not supposed to cross your arms in a comedy show, because A, you look hella judgy, B, I can say things about your boobs.
Hey, my name is Michael Schirtzer. I'm a comedian. I have been doing comedy for about 5 years.
This first Punchline Posse member is a very good friend of mine, dude. He's one of the young stallions tearing up the Southern California comedy scene in this golden age.
I used to do slam poetry, and yeah, cameraman is laughing at that right now for the record. but there were parts of my poems that were funny. You know what I mean? I'd be like, well, I don't know. There were parts of my poems that were funny, and I enjoyed laughter more than snapping. Also, it's like I recognize that there's only a limited amount of space that you can talk about the government without people getting weird. You know what I mean? Like if you see a dude on the street and he's like screaming about John McCain or whatever, you know what I mean? You're like, that guy's crazy. You know what I mean? But like if you see me doing that behind a microphone, you're like, that's a comedic genius. The difference is like a bachelor's degree and 3 showers.
And we love him here at the Comedy Palace. I'm stoked he's part of Volume 4. He cruises all the way down the 5 for you, Kearney Mason. Show him some love. Clap it up for Michael Schirtzer. Let's hear it.
Hey, keep it going for Zach, everybody. My ex-girlfriend was also black. She probably still is. You know what I mean? Now that I think about it. Guys, I'm a straight white male with glasses. You see that? It's gonna get political. It's got to. By law. Fun fact about Muslim women while they're still allowed in the country. For those of you not laughing, relax. It's a joke, you know? Super fun fact about conservative Muslim women is they are not supposed to make eye contact with men that they don't know. Seems like every girl I've talked to is a Muslim. That's pretty cool. Thank you. A lot of you enjoyed that. A couple of you in the back acting Muslim. So just think about that. Asked a girl out. She said yes, obviously. Shouts out to that lady with eyes. And I was like, hey, do you have any dietary restrictions? Because that's the type of question you ask women in Los Angeles. Yes, I know. And she was like, yes, I do. I was like, I know, what are they? You know? She's all, I am a lacto-ovo vegetarian. And I was like, why? What does that even mean? You know what I mean? That sounds like you're breastfeeding other vegans. And that is against their philosophy for sure. You know? Direct contact with a I like that I made eye contact with you in that moment. You ever seen a vegan that bites their own fingernails? Super confusing. You know what I mean? Because they're like, no honey for me. Just gonna stand here cannibalizing myself while I wait for a $12 carrot hot dog. Cool, it's a carrot. I don't know, I'm no better. I used to be a vegan myself, believe it or not. Now I just talk about veganism the way people talk about time spent in jail, like I did 3 years. They let me out for good behavior. Any couples in the audience tonight? Any couples? One couple. Okay, 2, one smattering of couples. You guys still do sex stuff? Nice. That's cool, freaky you know what I mean? That's cool. You ever give her butt massages? But like internally? You know what I mean? You ever do that one? You look like you do. You have a mustache, so I feel like that's for sure happened in your household. Guys, I'm a big fan of microwavable food because I'm a chef. Thank you. These jokes will hit you individually. One at a time. If you didn't like one previous, one will come around for you. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's like a lazy Susan at a Chinese restaurant. That was for that smattering. Big fan of microwavable food. I don't know about you guys, but my favorite part of microwavable food is the moment that I take the box back out of the trash to read the directions. Very relatable, thank you. People live that out on a daily basis. They're always like, I threw that away too soon. It's true. Guys, India and Pakistan share a border. You know that if you've seen a globe. But the people don't get along. You know what I mean? Like, Indians get super upset when you call them Pakistani. And then Pakistanis get even more frustrated when you call them for tech support. You know, they're like, what the man, that's not our thing. We say kill the infidel, not like call in for Dell. Yes, thank you. That was applause break worthy, I agree. For one person. Bang, out here for you. Bang, bang. Guys, I had a girlfriend for a while, told you about her. It's believable, I'm pretty. And I took her out, place, I was like, hey, you want a drink? You know what I mean? I'm a nice guy. She's like, surprise me. So I came back with 2 drinks for myself and nothing for her. She was very surprised. She was indeed surprised by my choice. That same girl watched the OJ documentary. You can tell where this joke is going. And she was like, can you believe that OJ cheated? And I was like, babe, how far in that documentary did you get? You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you were committed, you'd know the answer. Up top. I was on Bumble for a while. You guys know what that is, yeah? Most of you are hip. Bumble is like Tinder, but girls will have to message you first, you know? And if you're not messaged by a girl after 24 hours, then you get deleted from their profile. So, pretty cool for compiling a list of women who will ultimately ignore you. If that's what you're into, you know? But I don't actually need a new list. I still have my high school yearbook. You know? I remember those girls well. One of my exes recently transferred $2,000 into my bank account accidentally. Big mistake. And then she was like, can I have it back? And I was like, no, very expensive lesson. You're welcome. Just kidding, I sent it back via Venmo with a caption that said, you're lucky, bitch. Talked to her a bit after, she was like, thank you so much. It's crazy, I know you just lost your job, how do you feel about it? I was like, oh, pretty good, just came into some money. I guess that joke doesn't work when I tell it out. It's all right, whatever. You guys ever get so high that you say muy bueno to your Thai waiter? No? He was pretty chill, he bowed. Anyways. So. Guys, I'm pretty close with my family, like most comics you'll see tonight. Thank you, sarcasm is also humor. And, I don't know, I try and call my parents pretty much like every day. And they're like, Michael, that's not necessary. You know? Maybe once you move out. So right now you're just charging up that phone bill, you don't pay that either. We raised you better. That joke used to be fake, but did get laid off my job recently, so that's real. It's funny, I was able to calculate the cost of my pride, and it's exactly $1,500 a month. Not a penny less, not a penny more. So that's fun. Guys, in conclusion, I'm a big fan of vaginas. I don't know if I made that clear, but if not, let it be known. There's a weird thing about vaginas. Ladies, you may know this one already. There's a large percentage of the female population that cannot be brought to orgasm, you know, during sex. With me. What's up with that? What's that about? You know what I mean? No, I do like to clarify that's a joke. For sure, don't talk to me about that afterwards, unless it's you who wants me to prove it wrong. Okay, bye, y'all. Thank you so much.
Michael Schirtzer, everybody. They say there's a little bit of truth in every joke. I'm pretty good at sex, man. I make it with my lady sometimes, you know. Sometimes it's not that much. You married parents, you know the drill. Sometimes it's not hot, you know what I'm saying? You're just living in the same house, paying the same bills, raising the same kids, waking up in the same bed like, fuck you again. And that's okay. Personally, that's when I like to go downstairs, make some coffee, take that coffee out in the garage, and do bong hits. These motherfuckers gotta take their medicine, you know? Sometimes, you know, we'll bone a lot, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like, she'll be feeling my steez, like, if my career's going good. When my career's going good and I made the kids breakfast, like, she's feeling me. Then we'll be boning a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, crazy sex, dude, like 2-3 times a month, like, non-stop boning. That's how last month was, man. I think we did it 2.5 times last month. This month's pretty dry. We did it half the time. Half sex is when only I come. I always come. No, shout out to the players that don't come when they bone. Where you dudes at? Those dudes exist? Like, yeah, I'm that guy, man. I have all types of sex, rarely come. You know, it's just I can't get focused, you know? I need a real certain energy with a woman to be able to come, you know? It's less physical, it's more like about the connection, you know?
My name is Alfred Konuwa, and I'm a comedian. I've been doing comedy for about 3 years. I started out in Los Angeles, or the Orange County area, and I've since moved to Los Angeles.
All right, speaking of sex, this next gentleman is that word in human form. He's one of my favorite dudes rocking the SoCal scene. That's why he's part of this series.
I'm gonna talk about this on stage, but basically after a show one night, somebody came up to me and confided in me that he was in the Ku Klux Klan. And I don't understand what it is about me that he wanted to confide in, because I obviously am not the type of person who would support that type of thing, but I really think that helps my likability, that somebody in such a vile group would want to show up and tell me his deepest, darkest secrets.
He's crushing Sunset tonight. He's down in Kearny Mesa. Show him some love. Clap it up loud, Mr. Alfred Konuwa. Let's hear it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Keep it up for yourselves. You guys are great. Oh my God. Goodness, I'm so happy to be here tonight. I just got back from Denver. I was in Denver for about a week, and it was a beautiful city. But the only bad part of my trip from Denver is that our flight got delayed, so I was there for like 6 hours in the airport, and I had to come up with a game to play just to pass the time. And you guys could play this game at home if you would like, to where basically you go to a Denver airport. Okay? That's step one. You look around at all the people, and you try to calculate how many black friends they have. Okay? Super fun game, I'm telling you. I'm so good at this game, you guys. I'm like the Rain Man of this game that I just created, because basically I can tell how many black friends people have by how long their children stare at me. Really simple math there. And you can't get mad at the kids either. Like, I'm petty, so I do, but don't do that. I look right back at them like, what are you looking at? You want to go outside? But you can't do that because kids are going to stare at you no matter who you are. That's just how they learn the world, you know? So if a kid is staring at me for 10 seconds, I have no problem with that. You know, I think that's adorable. But if this goes on for 60 seconds, I think we can all agree. That's 0 black friends in that family. I don't know what else to tell. They've lost this game that I just created. Okay? Like, if a kid is staring at me for 60 seconds, he's trying to figure out whether I'm a person or a giant Hershey's bar. That's just what he's thinking. I'm just trying to... I remember there was this little girl who was staring at me for 5 whole minutes. Okay? That's 300 seconds! At that point, I started thinking to myself, maybe this family has black enemies. I think we're past friends now. Like, somebody did something to that whole family. They've raised the kid to not like that person, so now she's staring at me, and it's not because she's confused. She's thinking to herself, boy, that guy looks like Daryl. Don't know what he's doing in Denver, but he looks like Daryl. I was in Denver because of work, and I usually work in an office building. It's great, but we have to take all these sexual harassment classes. And I found that ever since #MeToo, people are so scared of losing their jobs in sexual harassment that these classes fill up immediately. Okay, like there's so many classes offered every month to the point where I've signed up for 3 of these sexual harassment seminars, and all 3 times the classes were full, so they told me no. So now I'm terrified to sign up for a 4th time because I don't want them thinking I'm being too aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I call me paranoid, but I don't like the optics of me signing up for the same sexual harassment course over and over and over again, only to keep getting denied, because at some point that's harassment. And like, I don't even think there's an actual sexual harassment course, because I've talked to everybody in my department, nobody's been to the class. So what I think is happening is that everybody who signs up for this class is being told the class is full, because they just want to see who can take no for an answer. You know, that's how they weed out the bad men at work. They just want to see who's going to keep emailing them like, come on, just give me 1 class. 1 date with a class. I'm a good guy. I'm free next week. 1 date. And then they follow the class to his car. Like, that's how it always works. By now, I don't know if you guys can tell by my accent, but I come from a pretty good upbringing. 2 parents, backyard, a mailbox, all of that. She said it's so cute. It's more than cute. It's privilege. My mom does very well for herself. She's a director of a nonprofit, and my dad, he's retired now, but he used to be in a bunch of commercials for Jell-O pudding until he ran into some legal trouble. No, that's not true. My real dad's a good guy. But the thing is, I grew up in the suburbs, and I've noticed that if you're black and you grow up around anything that's remotely nice, people accuse you of trying to be white, which used to really bother me because growing up, people would always tell me that I sound white, and I used to get really pissed off. But I can't get too mad anymore when people say I sound white, because every time somebody says I sound white, my credit score goes up like 100 points. It's great. The most beautiful thing in the world. Guys, I'm up to like 647 right now. Okay? For those of you who don't know what that means if one more person calls me Carlton, I can buy a house. If this happens 2 more times, I can live in Chula Vista. So I'll be in your back roads, no time. Here's the thing, though. My name is Alfred. Okay, I don't sound white. I sound like a guy whose name is Alfred. Any guy whose name is Alfred, this is what they sound like. Okay? In fact, I was named after my grandfather, so really I'm Alfred III, which I actually think is too fancy of a name for me. Because like if you ever named or met somebody named Alfred III, you would expect royalty, right? Like, God, that guy must be the king of Chula Vista or something. At best, I just look like Mike Tyson if he found the cure for breast cancer. This is what he would look like in that oddly specific scenario. Just Google Mike Tyson breast cancer, and I'll just show up like, did you call? Let's punch out breast cancer. Google's actually my favorite website, now that we talk. What a specific segue. Google's my favorite website because it's the only website that I feel like pays attention to me when I'm talking. You know what I mean? Like, anytime you start typing on Google, what happens? It tries to finish your sentence for you. Like, it wants to work with you and saying what you want to say. So if you start to Google, can I kick it? It'll automatically be like, well, yes, you can. God, did somebody say you can't kick it? You totally... Start to Google, can you download BP? It'll be like, oh, yeah, you know me. Who said I wasn't? Was that Alexa? She's a liar. So this is where it gets weird, is because the other day I was looking for some new material, and I got curious to see what would happen, and I started to Google the N-word. Okay? The word nigger, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. I know, it's weird. People get very uncomfortable when I say that word because of the way that I talk, which I get, but I don't think it's fair. But you know who really gets uncomfortable around that word? Is Google. Like, they pulled back all those suggestions, tried them immediately. Like, we're not helping you spell about that word. No. This is not our fight. Like, I typed in N-I-G, and they got all coy. They're like, do you mean Nigeria? Do you mean Tig Notaro, or maybe the Denver Nuggets? But I kept going. They're trying to change the subject, hoping I'll forget. I didn't forget. I typed in N-I-G-G, and at that point, they're like, okay, buddy, you're on your own here. Google does not use that word in public. And that's what's so awkward about Google, is if you've ever seen Google's logo is all kinds of different colors. It's like red and green and blue and yellow. But if you try to Google the N-word, it doesn't want to say it. And that's how you know that Google's actually white. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with it. Google is just a working class white male who would rather not say that word. Which is, again, ironic, because here's this website whose logo is literally the rainbow. But if I want to talk to it about race, it tells me, dude, I don't see color. That's not what we do here. You guys have been great. So I was Googling Napoleon Bonaparte, okay? And I went down a huge rabbit hole on this guy. And he's like one of the most interesting people I've ever seen in my entire life. And all we ever remember about Napoleon is that he was short. That's all anybody ever gives it to him. Okay? But there's so many more interesting things to him. So we're basically, here's one thing. You know the boogeyman? That was created based on Napoleon. Like, the British were so scared of the boogeyman and Napoleon, they created a monster, they made it look like the devil, and they used it to scare their children. Which to me is really messed up, because Napoleon was scary to adults. Like, grown-ups were scared of this man because he waged war on their country. Here were the British going up to their kids like, hey man, you know that guy who just invaded our country, who's trying to kill us with all these weapons? He's coming to get you! Boogie. It's so messed up. And here's another thing nobody ever talks about, is Napoleon was transgender. Okay, did you guys know that? Napoleon was born a woman. Okay, no, I made that up. That part's not true. I felt like I had you there. I didn't want to lie to you. But I really wanted you on my side for this. And I'll tell you why. It's because he's so interesting, but all we ever remember about him is that his legacy in this country is a Napoleon complex, which is where short men drive lifted pickup trucks. This man's legacy lives on through the Toyota Tundra. Like, that's all we're going to give him? And this is why I get upset, because this is what we do with every historical figure. I've got a dog in this fight. I would like to think that Barack Obama will always be remembered as the first black president, at the very least. But I guarantee you in 100 years, the word Obama will just be some word we use to describe the first time a black person does anything. Anything at all. We'll watch the news. They'll be like breaking news out of NASA. The first black astronaut is just Obama the moon. All right, 11. I'll get off on this. You know what's starting to bother me about the Ku Klux Klan? Let me give you the one thing that's really getting me about these guys. It's like, I have no idea who's under those hoods. Okay? I think I know. Like, everybody says they're all just racist white hicks from the South, and that's what I think. But I don't know that for a fact because I've never met a Klansman. You know, and I would never want to meet a Klansman because personally I'm not crazy about their tone. So now I'm in this weird space where I'm paranoid and I think it could literally be anybody under there. Like, it reminds me of that old saying, like, you're always within 3 feet of a spider. What if you're always within 3 feet of a Klansman? You just don't know it. Like, you guys all seem like nice people, but I don't know what you're doing after this. Who knows? Here's my conspiracy theory about the KKK. I feel like one day the KKK is going to break up, just like B2K. Or the Beatles, or what have you, for the rest of you who didn't get that reference. And I feel like when they do, this could be the same reasons that the Beatles broke up. Like, they're all going to get sick of each other, too many egos. They all got tired of singing Hey Jews. Like, same exact thing. That's the song, right? And they're all going to take their hoods off, and half of them are just going to be black hipsters who are doing it ironically. I was doing that joke last week in West Covina, which is near Enrich County, and some guy came up to me and he was like, hey man, my family's in the KKK. Like, he's trying to relate to me. Like, that's how we're gonna connect tonight? Super nice guy, but so wrong, okay? And I was looking at him, I tried to get out of the conversation as soon as possible. I was being as nice as possible, and I got out of there and I noticed that he had his son with him. And this kid couldn't have been more than 3 years old. And he was staring at me for at least 2 hours. You guys have been great, thank you so much.
My name is Cory Polster, and I'm a comedian. I've been doing comedy for about 7 years. You know, when I first got started in comedy, I started in Sacramento up at a place called Laughs Unlimited. And I feel like today's culture is much more polarized. So you got away with a lot more back then than you do now. But I think that kind of helps the cream rise to the top, because if you can change your game up and make people laugh without realizing they've been offended, I think that's a huge attribute.
This next introductee into the Punchline Posse is one of my very good friends. We used to rock this hot little show under a bridge at a strip club in LA some years back, and we've all gotten much funnier since then. He's been crushing the LA scene. I love every time he comes down to Kearny Mesa.
Oh man, Zach Miller is my boy. I love that guy. So how I met him was I was bartending at a strip club. Or the place that owned the Spearmint Rhino opened a club. Zach had a Wednesday night comedy show. Bruce Jingles was hosting, and I'm bartending, and I told him, I was friends with the manager at the time, and so I walk, Brian was his name, he introduces me to Zach, and he goes, hey man, this is Cory, he's really interested in comedy, and Zach kind of gave me that opportunity. He's like, yeah man, why don't you just come on Wednesday, you help set us up, and you know, if you're funny, we'll let you do some more time. And so I went up, and you know, it was, you know, like maybe 50 people in the crowd, and I did really well. And then I just started doing it every Wednesday, and I started writing, and then like Bruce wouldn't be there, and I would host, and then from there, you know, Zach just kept calling me for other gigs, and now today's one of my best friends.
And tonight he's here to rock with you guys. So please clap loud for the very funny Mr. Cory Polster. Everybody, let's hear it. Come on.
Go for Zach, everyone. All right, we got some beautiful ladies in the house. Give it up for yourselves, ladies. I want to hear it. Come on, guys, clap for the women. They're looking beautiful. Jesus Christ. Fellas, you guys look cute, too. I don't know, guys can't compliment each other the way women can, right? Like, ladies, you guys do that shit all the time, and it doesn't sound weird. Like, Sherry, look at Teresa. Doesn't she look great? I love that dress. We can't do that shit. That sounds fucking gay. Can you imagine? Chuck, look at Brian. God, I love those cargo shorts on him. I know he's got great calves, bitch. There's a lot of things that girls can say that guys can't nowadays. Like chicks like to fucking splurge. You hear this? Like, I'm gonna splurge. Like, I heard these girls talking the other day, and one goes, hey, Becky, let's get tacos. And her friend's like, we can't, we're on a diet. She goes, I know, but fuck it, let's splurge. And I just remember thinking to myself, wow, that is some shit I will never say to another man. Like, what would you do if you saw me out front and, like, I walked up and I'm like, hey, Zach, I got you a present, buddy. And he's like, oh, thanks, Cory, you didn't have to do that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you're such a good guy and I wanted to splurge on you. Well, what'd you get me? You got me body wash and face wash from Sephora? Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should splurge on your body or your face. So I thought, fuck it, I'd splurge all over you. I'm single. I just broke up with a girl, a Latina. Are there any Latinas here? Oh, good. Whew. I'll never do that again. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, they're smart, but they're fucking crazy. They love arguing, and they're good at it. Like, really good. I feel bad for Latin dudes. Not because they're always getting yelled at, because they're the worst at arguing. So that's a bad combination. I heard this Latin dude getting yelled at by his girl at the grocery store the other day. And she's like, ay, los porcados de mío, I don't fucking speak Spanish. And no joke, this was his response. He goes, dang, I didn't even do nothing. That's your fucking argument, bro? Your big comeback is, dang, I didn't even do nothing. That is why if I ever get arrested, I will never have a Mexican lawyer. Can you imagine being in court, Mr. Gonzalez? We'll now hear your closing arguments. Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the jury, he didn't even do nothing. I rest my case, Your Highness. Sustained. So, how do Mexicans eat Mexican food every day? That's crazy. I mean, Mexican food is great every once in a while, but like every day? Like if I take a bite of a burrito, my farts start to sound super disappointed. You know the disappointed farts? They're like, man. Your asshole sounds like I got a present it didn't want for Christmas. Like, oh, not socks. I wanted an Xbox. Yeah, so I'm single. Dating. I went out with a deaf chick, doing my part. Giving back. It wasn't great. Wasn't great. Not as great as you think it'd be. I think I'm trying to think how to put this so not to be offensive, but like, have you ever asked somebody a question and they answer while they're yawning? So you're like, hey, what do you want to get for dinner? And they're like, I'd rather just get a pizza. That's how deaf people talk all the time. Yeah. So can you imagine trying to make love to a woman like that? Yeah, you like that? She's like, oh, yeah, fucking. I'm sorry, am I boring you? No. Too far? What? Yeah, too far. I know I'm going to hell and I've accepted that. I think it's because relationships are tough, man. They're tough. Is anyone in a relationship here? Yeah. You wouldn't be clapping if you were at the end of one. You know, there's some signs you know you're at the end of a relationship, like if your girl's giving you a blowjob, and if you're lucky enough to have that happen still, and she does this, she stops in the middle of it, she goes, tell me when. What? Tell me when you're gonna come. The fuck? You take all the fun out of it? It's a blowjob, you're not refilling my drink, what do you mean tell you when? And you have to tell her when. When you're single, you don't gotta tell them shit. They tell me when. Okay, when, bitch? Oh my God. Not if you're in a relationship. Fuck no. I came in my girl's mouth once on accident, and she sounded exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It scared the shit out of me. She's like, tell me when. I'm like, okay, oh, wow, what are you doing? Come on! It's all over me. Let's get serious. The bridge is out, get down, come on! Wow! Yeah, trying to get a blowjob after that is impossible. It's like trying to feed a toddler. Have you ever tried to feed a baby? Like, here's everything. No. Oh, come on, it's a rabbit. No, you came in my mouth. No. I don't blame you though. I couldn't suck a dick. I can't even brush my tongue, people. Like, I can do this, but as soon as give me some scope. I'll just floss. I can't do this. You guys are awesome. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but apparently everyone's racist again. Come on, white people. I thought we had this shit beat. Nope. Yeah, I'm not racist. I don't judge people by how they look or how they sound, except for deaf people. And Russians. No, wait, hear me out. What's the scariest thing you can hear in a dark alley at 3 a.m.? Is it, hey, what's up? No, it's, excuse me, what seems to be problem? Oh, shit. Because they mean well, but they're scary shit, and they will give you the worst advice. You want bad advice? Get into an Uber with a Russian Uber driver tonight. They will try hard, but all they'll do is end up fucking up old proverbs. I know. I got in this Uber once, and I got in the back, and I was all flustered because I had gotten in a fight with this girl I was dating. I sit down, and that's when I hear, well, it seems to be problem. Fuck, I don't want to die, so... You know, I tell him, like, I think my girl's cheating on me. I think it's the end of the relationship. And he goes, it's okay. Listen, you know, what goes around happens again sometimes. And you mean what goes around comes around. Listen, I wasn't born tomorrow, okay? You can lead a horse to water, but this does not make it a seahorse. Yeah, that's not how that goes. And they're misogynistic as they are sexist as shit, because he was like listening to NPR and they were talking about how they're sending some women to the International Space Station. He's like, can you believe they're sending women to outer spaces? Can you believe that women, cosmonauts? I'm like, yeah, man, it's the 21st century. Women can do anything men can do. And he just looked at me in the rearview mirror. He's like, well, maybe. I mean, I guess space is a vacuum, and who's better with a vacuum than a woman? Hey, my name's Cory Polster. You guys are great.
I'm Bruce Jingles. I'm a comedian.
How long you been doing comedy for?
Soon to be, I don't know, basically 18 years.
We have seen 3 amazing acts rock their sets for this awesome Volume 4. And we got one more coming to the stage. I hope you guys got some good energy left in you, because this dude is the man.
Cory was talking about you guys were hanging out and doing shows at a strip club.
Yeah, it's called 1616. It's owned by the Spearmint Rhino Corporation. And they wanted to branch off of something different. It was a tax write-off. That's what it was.
So were there titties involved?
Just titties. Okay. Yes, there were titties. And vaginas, but no, they were covered. They were that pasties.
One of my oldest friends in comedy, one of my great friends in life. You guys have seen him all over the country. You've seen him on Showtime tonight. He's here to rock for Punchline Posse. So please show us some love. Get loud, Kearney Mesa. Give it up for Mr. Bruce Jingles. Let's hear it. Come on, come
You brought me up to 80s classic rock? Oh, he looks like a Whitesnake fan. Give it up for all the comics you've seen tonight. Sorry, I'm high. I'm okay. Weed is legal in California. It's awesome. But it also sucks. Like, everybody's smoking weed, and some shouldn't smoke weed. Like, on my way here, I caught 2 teenagers smoking marijuana. 3 minutes later, my neighbors caught me and 2 teenagers smoking marijuana. Marijuana's entered the world of science fiction now. They have medicinal vapes. If you don't know what a vape pen is, that's where they take nicotine, turn it into wax. Same thing with weed, but you don't get kicked out of your hotel room anymore, right? That's why I smoke it. So I was in Washington, D.C. a few weeks ago, headlining some shows, and I had to get to the show, so I ordered a Lyft. And back in the Lyft, I'm hitting my vape, and the driver's all, hey, what is that? What's up, mysterious white dude? We're filming this shit. No, normally that would scare a normal black dude, but he's the producer, so okay, it's cool. So I'm in back of the Lyft, hitting my vape, and the driver's all, what is that? I go, it's my medicinal vape. He's all, he's got weed in it? I go, yeah. He's all, can I take a hit? I'm like, what? He took 2 hits. 10 minutes later, my Lyft driver had to call Uber to pick us up. I just recently watched a documentary on cocaine, which is how I watch all my documentaries. I'm a weed smoker. I've been smoking weed for a lot of years since high school, and weed's getting a bad rap. I don't mean like a blunt rap. I mean, people talk shit about it, you know? You know, marijuana affects your memory. That's bullshit. And never forget to smoke. Weed makes you stupid. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you smarter. Okay, started smoking weed in high school. In high school, we used to have what's called off-campus lunch. Okay, that's where you can go off campus, smoke weed, eat, and then you had to come back for some reason, right? So after lunch, I had intermediate math, right? And I was lit one time. I had to take a test in fractions. One of the questions on the test was, what's the difference between a quarter and an eighth? I wrote $50. Two days later, my teacher gives me the test back, written in red, and says, see me after class, right? So I thought I was in trouble. So after class, go to my teacher, I'm Mr. Galvan, am I in trouble? He's all, no, I just want to know where you get your weed from. And all my years of smoking, I get my weed exclusively from white people. And I'll tell you the 2 reasons why. When you get your weed from white people, they let you try it before you buy it. Can't get that from black people. You gotta smoke us out, with the shit you just got from us. That's called reneging. Oh, okay, that was good. That was, did you see how that is, brother? See that? That gets the applause break. Oh, reneging. That's a genius. Okay. One of my best friends growing up, he's a white guy. His name's Josh, obviously. And he's where I get my weed from, right? Okay, remember the guy, okay, you know, dude, that dude. Right, so I knock on his door. Because I get fucking lit, right? And I knock on it, because white people's weed has different names, cool names, like Chronic, Kush, Purple Liberal, Juicy Fruit, Trainwreck, Northern Lights, Green Crack, Purple Horseshoes, Obama. There's an Obama strain out there. Yes, we cannabis. Only problem is it takes 8 years to work. So. Well, no, but there's a Trump strain out there now that it's got orange hairs and can't get through Mexico. So I stopped by Josh's house, right, and knock on his door. Hey, Jingles, what's up, dude? And he's all, got some new stuff coming in the back, right? Go in his backyard. Dude, I grew this myself, dude. Check it out. It's a hybrid. I got a cool name for it. I go, yeah, what do you call it? He's all, dude, I'm gonna call it fuck, dude. I'm like, why are you gonna call it that? He's all, smell. I went, fuck. I'll take 2 bags of it. And don't let people tell you that weed is bad. The people that don't want you to smoke weed are pharmaceutical companies because they can't make money off you smoking weed. So they put out this propaganda about weed. Like I was headlining in Wisconsin a few months ago. This guy comes up, he's all, after the show, he's all, hey dude, you're hilarious, but you smoke too much weed, that shit'll kill you. And I looked him dead in the eye and said, let me tell you something. You can find a single person that's died from smoking weed. I'll find you a black person that's been attacked by a shark. Hashtag, it's not gonna happen, right? Weed brings people together. You could be racist, I'll smoke out with you. Like, there was one time, I was performing in Lancaster, California. One time. You been there? I'm like, oh, yeah, sign up. And I swear to God, after a show, this guy, okay, first off, I'm 6'5", okay? Out of nowhere, this big Costco-sized skinhead popped out, right? I say Costco-sized, he had a swastika to say Kirkland. I was like, what the fuck? And he had a joint. He's like, hey, dude, you're funny, but, you know, I don't like black people, right? And I was scared. I took the joint and went, yeah, they could be a problem sometimes. Here you go. And I made sure the end of the joint was wet, too, so. If you got that joke, you're racist. There you go. Everybody's racist. Everybody's racist. All right, call a spade, Jesus Christ. Oh, then that makes me racist for saying that. Okay. Oh, I like the special effects that the Comedy Palace paid for. Look at the overhead projector and shit. Look at it. Like you're in science class. It's some fucked up shit. Looks like a drunk it looks like a drunk eye chart and shit. Like, what do you see? Bruce Jingles. Oh, you gotta go to jail. I'm a drinker. I love drinking. I love drinking so much I gave up driving. Well, the state of California helped. I got 2 DUIs on a day apart. Coming from the same bar. Well, I had to pick up my car and shit. I've illegally driven to California the last 4 years. Got my license back a few months ago. I'm shopping for a new car right now. I'm gonna get my next car from England because I'm so used to getting in on the passenger side now, you know? Yeah. Thank you, white people. Another one. Ah. Oh, that's a witty Negro. You young ladies are very lovely. Very lovely. How you doing? How old are you? If I can, 37? Well, that's which is younger for me. That's awesome. That's awesome. We can have like some Shirley Temple sex and shit. The older people got that like. Oh Lord. Oh, Miss Ma'am. Oh, look. You're hot, dude. I got a fantasy. Next white chick I'm with, I'm gonna dress up as a runaway slave, right? And she's gonna dress up as a plantation owner's daughter. Right? And I'll get all, I'm afraid, stretch myself, make it all wet. And I'm gonna come into the room like,
Miss Missy, the North is coming. They done killed your daddy. We got to get out of here. I got to save your daddy's treasure. And she's gonna look at me, oh, Jasper. You might as well bury the treasure. And I'm gonna look at her like, oh, Lordy Lord. I ain't never seen the pink one before. Then we're gonna fuck the old slave song, like flies in the buttermilk, shoe fly shoe. Zach, I've known Zach for a lot of years, right? And he called me up a couple of weeks ago. And he's all, hey, Bruce, I got a question to ask you. Yeah, what's up? He's all, if a dude came up to you and told you, and offered you $10 million to suck his dick, would you? Now, Zach knows I'm not gay, so I could tell him the only thing I could say was, for how long? Because I got some shit to do after I suck that dick for $10 million. First of all, I gotta go buy some mouthwash. That's $10 already. That leaves me $9,999,990 to fuck with. Does that make me gay? No, that makes me a homeowner. Fuck you. I'm trying to live my life and be God. I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ. I can't be like you women and just take it for granted and all that shit. Fuck you. Shit. Some of you would suck the dick for less. Like some of you suck the dick for buffalo wings tonight. You know? Don't hate me because I have goals. That's all I'm saying. Shit. I've never sucked a dick before, but that would be the best blowjob that dude. The world's great. I get a trophy and shit. Shit, I put my own head down like, Dude, I play Rochambeau with his balls and shit. I would slap myself for each million I would get. I'll count it off. 1, 2, 3, 10 dicks. I would suck his spine through his dick. See, I would be like, and like a man, I'd be like, and his body would collapse because he has no spine to support him. What's the moral of the story? None of you have $10 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this here from Comic-Con weekend in San Diego. And I'm a huge comic book nerd. It's crazy down here because you see a lot of fat Harley Quinns. And I don't like that. I don't mean like, you know, like a little chunky. I mean like big blubber bitches. Like, bitch, you ain't Harley Quinn. You're Clayface. What the fuck wrong with you? That shit. I seen some other weird shit. I seen white people giving out stickers for Black Panther. I was like, what the fuck? Huey Lewis is rolling over in his grave and shit. Huey Lewis. Huey Newton, nigga. Huey Newton. All right, I gotta get out of here. I want to thank Zach Miller for giving me a gig here. If you like me, you can follow me. Not home. I'll call the cops. You can follow me on Instagram as Bruce Jingles, BruceJingles 420. All right. Follow me. All right. Take care. I'm Bruce Jingles. Have a good night.